So here we are. So just before I begin, just to give you guys a little bit of background on myself, like she said, my name is Dritan. I started this business actually when I was in college. So I was 21 years old, and I studied finance in school, and with the hopes of one day becoming financially independent. I didn't go into finance because I absolutely loved it, and so at 21, studying finance, got into corporate America and started working in the corporate finance and accounting for about like 5 years. But I was kind of excited to go into it, but then when I got into it, a lot more like disillusioned. More than anything, I found like corporate politics, the hours I was going in, the hours I was coming out, the type of vacations. It wasn't like something that I was super excited about, nor was I really happy with. So when my friend introduced me to this concept at 21 years old, I just started working it part time. I didn't get rid of my full time job or anything like that. And before you know it, in 2016, it became a full time income, and it was able to now afford me to leave my job. And I haven't had a job since. I've just been with this business full time. I think the best benefits of the, I mean, there's a lot of benefits, but at this point for me, the biggest benefits of running this business is definitely being able to serve other people and help other people reach their goals and their dreams. So if this is like a first or second time taking a look at the business, definitely I would say keep an open mind, evaluate it fully. You're going to want to take a look at a lot of different facets of it, especially when you evaluate any business, whether it be the company, whether it be the products, the resources that we have, our compensation plan, everything. So this is going to be a little bit of a high level overview. You're going to have to see it multiple times. But biggest thing, regardless if it's for you or not, definitely thank the person who invited you on here because they thought a lot of you. Because with this business, you're going to see it's a lot of free mentorship. We invest a lot in people's goals. So they want to make sure that you're a good fit for us as well, based on the fact that they're going to spend a lot of time to help you achieve, what it is that you want through this business. So with that being said, let's get into it. So the unfranchised business market, Australia, right? So here's what we are. You can read it on the screen, but plain and short, it's a simple system for the average person to make an above average income. That's the way I think of it, right? To be able to develop something residual, being something that you create one time and get paid over and over and over again. And you can see here that we're powered by people just like you, and especially in today's world, right? A lot of people can make money. Maybe you might have time, right? But the biggest thing that I think that we have is we're powered by people. We can change the world based on that because of the scale that we can create, right? So here's some trends of the economy that are going on right now. And that, they always say that you want to position yourself ahead of the trend and capture the trend instead of being on the back end of it. So retail stores, I mean, with everything going on today, the last thing you want to be is brick and mortar. Just because of the associated risks, whether it be fires, whether it be floods, whether it be economic things, whether it be biohazardous things, like, a lot of the stores are starting to shut down, and it's very hard for overheads to keep up. Even entrepreneurship in today's day and age is rising because of technology and internet. This past, I would say, year, 1099s have quadrupled year over year. As well as rise in online sales. Most people now do most of their shopping, if not all their shopping, online. And the best part about it is this: one-to-one marketing. Think about this. When's the last time that you did one-to-one marketing? Probably when you told a friend about a good restaurant, probably when you told your friend about a good movie and they went to it. But guess what happened? Those places of business probably didn't pay. But now we're going to let you know on how your one-to-one marketing, you can actually get paid for it. Okay, so we're very, very similar to a franchise, but we're not like a franchise. And I'll start with why we're not like a franchise. Because we don't have the, $250,000 upfront cost. We don't have within a 5 to 7 year, rate of, I would say, like failure. If you go into business, typically if you're in business for 5 years, you beat 95% of people. We don't have, 7 to 13% royalty fees. You don't have to worry about territorial restrictions. You don't have to worry about, going into business and making your money back after the first 10 years, which is really good because the risk is not that much. But we are like a franchise where it is very system. There's uniform, there's training involved. So if you can follow a system, then you can definitely be successful with our business. And here's a little bit about the company. And my favorite part, you can read the slides here, but I'm going to just talk from the heart. My favorite part about the company is that they're not corporate-y, right? It's a family business that started in '92 in a basement, pretty much, here in Jersey, and expanded worldwide. You can see the countries here. And have done billions and billions of dollars in sales, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But the fact that they've been together for inception, the corporate team, and no one's really left unless, unfortunately they passed away, shows a lot about the integrity of the company. I personally have a great relationship with the owners of the company and little old me, right? Billionaires and little old me. So it goes to show you how much they really care about people. And the best part about it too is that, for ethics and integrity in the marketplace, they got an A+ rating with the Torch Award, which goes to show you where their heart is. So here's some of the sales, right? Over $8 billion in sales, which is great. We want to make this over $100 billion company. And the reason is because 2/3 of it is actually going to go to people's pockets. Because if you notice here, 2/3 of that revenue is going back in retail profits and commissions back to people who run the franchise and who own it. Think about other companies, right? Whether it be Amazon, Walmart, if they're making a couple $100 billion in sales every single year, imagine if they paid 2/3 out, worldwide. Would it be a different planet? That's the best part about our business, I think, is the fact that, if that 2/3 of that goes back to people's pockets, we could do a lot of good stuff with that type of income. Right. But here's what really connects all of us is this idea of the 45-year plan. We don't want to be part of this 45-year plan. So what is the 45-year plan? It's basically 95% of people spending 45 years of their life working for not their own success, someone else's success. And here's the breakdown. 1% is typically going to be wealthy. They'll probably make 300,000 or above a year residual. Most of these people, by one name, 3/4 actually inherit it. Okay. 4% are going to be financially fit. Typically they'll make 6 figures. That's the only reason why I went into school. But they're not just doctors, lawyers, and engineers. They make their money residual. So most people aren't, used to that term. Residual income is a type of income when you make, build, or develop something one time, and then you get paid ongoing, whether you roll out of bed or stay in bed, right? That's the type of income you want. But most people, what they'll do is end up in the 95%, still working, not because they love it, just because they have to, the bills. Some people won't even make it due to stress and heart disease, usually linked to financial pressure. And over 62% of people we found rely on some sort of government assistance. So, this 45-year plan, you spend 45 years of your life, and at the end of it, you can't even achieve the dreams that you really want, right? So these are some questions that you want to ask yourself, right? Whether it be debt, financial security. I mean, yeah, there's other investment vehicles out there, but I mean, who here has an extra 600,000 to $1 million to put into a financial vehicle that they can earn, 2 to 4% interest, so that they can make an extra, $1,000 to $3,000 a month? Most people aren't that liquid. And even here in Australia, I guess the percentages are the same. 77%, over 65, only are making 1,685 average Australian dollars per month, which I'm sure is probably not a lot to take care of the mortgage, the bills, and the family, right? So our plan is a 2 to 3 year plan where if you're coachable, consistent, and committed, what we can do is show you our system through 8 to 15 hours a week work part-time to be able to build something for yourself, right? And to create that type of residual income for yourself. Right. So the question here is basically, which one is better, 45 or 2 to 3, right? I like to think of it, if they both fail, great. I'll still choose the 2 to 3 because, I can run the 2 to 3 year plan at least 15 times and fail. At least one time will be successful, but the 45, I can only run once and I'm out. But what if they actually succeed? Great. If you succeed at the 45-year plan, then, you have to calculate what period of time can you still live your dreams out? Whereas if the 2 to 3 succeeds, you have so much more time to be able to, live your dreams and contribute and create an impact in the world as well. Right. So we're a product brokerage company as well. We don't make anything, but we contract out with different manufacturers, all in different industries and vertical billion-dollar markets. All that really means is that we don't have the risk associated with manufacturing costs, and we're not going to say we have the best products and services because we make it, but we have the best products and services because we are in relationships with manufacturers that do. And if those manufacturers don't meet those standards, we can move out of one market and move into another market, move out of one manufacturer into another manufacturer, offering the latest market-driven products to our customers, all in industries like health and nutrition, age management, cosmetics, personal care, with over 100 partner stores, thousands of different products. I know here in the US, it's over 4,000 different partner stores, stores that most people buy from on a day-to-day basis. But now, not only do you buy from those stores, we can help our customers get paid for that purchasing. And on the back end, what you can do is turn your spending into earning. And I'm going to show you how you do that in a little bit, right? It's through this shopping annuity, right? And the best part about this is that, everyone's going to buy toilet paper, toothpaste, trash bags, disinfectants, things like that. And most people, they're not getting paid for it. But imagine now, every single dollar, every spending that you have, you could put through yourself and now earn a return on every single dollar that you put through yourself on things that you're going to do anyway, on your normal budget anyway. That is basically that shopping annuity. So coming back down to it, which one, 45 or 2 to 3? We talked about it. I would choose the 2 to 3 over and over and over again, but that's totally up to you, which one that you would prefer. Okay, so there's basically only 5 steps to build this business. So if you can count to 5, you could probably do this. You'll be pretty successful at it. We're going to go through those 5 steps together. So step 1 is to apply, right? A sales rep or unfranchise owner. My recommendation is definitely unfranchise owner. You can see here the different benefits by becoming an unfranchise owner. When you do apply, you're going to get all the different shop.com websites. You're going to get a back office. You're going to get the services support that comes with it. You're also going to get the training. And the most important thing that you're also going to get is participation in what we call the MPCP, which is that compensation plan that's going to allow you to earn over $3,600 a week if it's built correctly. Right. So here's some things. And one of my favorites is definitely the coaching and mentoring, because when you get a position within the business, now people are financially vested in you to help you and coach you in order to build this business to the goals that you actually have. Right. Step 2 is to create, right? So just like any business, right? We create and in this business, we create BV and IBV. So BV are the points that are associated with all of our exclusive products. And those are the points are basically the sales and the revenues that are generated through your business, and they're going to start adding up. And then when they add up to certain thresholds, they're going to pay you commissions, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But, what do we get BV on? All these different industries, whether it be health and nutrition, cosmetics, personal care, cosmetics, skincare, home and garden. Ask yourself if you're using in these products. Ask yourself, in these industries, like if, people in these industries that, use these products, that you also can not only pay yourself, but also help get them paid based on a better quality product, and also cashback programs as well. And then we also have IBV, Internet Business Volume. These points are associated with all of our partner stores. You also have a bank that I'm going to show you that every single time you or a customer buys anything through any type of store here, whether it's ASOS, Reeboks, the Good Guy, Groupon, right? Now you're going to also get paid for that. So that's step 2, creating BV and IBV. It's very, very simple. You just buy through yourself. Number 1, you have an experience. You're your personal customer. You start sharing through word of mouth, just like you did with the restaurant, or just like you did with the movie. And over time, we're going to help you build 10 to 15 customers, so that these customers now are going to be creating cash flow through your business. And the cool part about it is everything is basically put right into you don't have to package it up and ship it out of your house. It's already drop shipped, by creating all of this volume, right? So just like we talked about, personal use, one-to-one marketing, online orders, and just converting your spending. And I think that's the ingenious part about it, because you're going to do it anyway, no matter what. You're going to spend this money. So why not calculate in the next 5, 10, 15 years the type of money that you're going to spend on razors and deodorants and shaving creams, and imagine now getting paid commissions on every item that you start converting over into your own business. All right, so step 3 is to qualify your business. So basically, this is legitimizing your business. Imagine if you owned a McDonald's and you just had the shell of the McDonald's, but you didn't have the burgers, fries, and shakes. and a customer comes in there and says, hey, I want a Big Mac. You say, oh, I'll come back in a week. That's not going to work, right? And our business is the same thing, right? So you qualify it, you get 200 PBV, right? And what happens is you get basically what we call a fast start kit. You get some products on hands, but you get these banks opening up. These banks are the BV and IBV banks. So every single time you use BV and IBV flows into your banks. Every single time your customer uses BV and IBV flows in your banks. And I'm going to show you, it's keeping track of everything, right? So you can see here. And the fast start kit here, this will get you started with those banks. It's $500 plus free shipping, which is great. Australian dollars for me, I would say in Australian dollars when I first started, it was around 1400. So the company really, put together a huge value kit where a lot of people get the same type of products at a much lower cost as well. So step 4 is to activate. All this means is that you're finding your partners, okay? You want to find people, just like a franchise expands, McDonald's started one in California, Ray Kroc. He said, obviously I want to expand my customer base, but I don't want to be the manager of all these different stores all over the world because I can't be at multiple places at once. And no one from Philadelphia is going to go to Australia to buy a hamburger, right? So what he did was he partnered with other people. They ran their own franchise and he would collect royalties. Here you do the exact same thing with a key difference. And the best part about this is I'm going to show you in a little bit, right? So let's say you partnered with Mark and Caitlin. They have the exact same franchise, different customer base than you. And what happens is now you start to duplicate this, 2, 3, 4 years from now. They do literally the exact same thing. You might have, 10, 20, 100 new franchise owners buying from themselves, each have 10 to 15 customers that are reordering all through an e-commerce site, right? And as you can see here, people start leading to people. And the reason that you start to care about this is because how the BV and the IBV actually works. So how does this actually work, right? So let's say you put yourself in the picture here and you lead to Mark and Mark leads to Megan and Megan leads to Chris and Chris and Matt. And Matt's in, I don't know, California, right? And maybe you never met Matt a day in your life. Maybe you don't know his customers, but why do you care that Matt did a fast start program with 500 Australian dollars? Is because what happens is any volume that Matt creates, that 300 BV, not only pays him, goes up to Chris, Megan, Mark, and you, and even your senior partner, 100% to infinity. Doesn't matter if it's one business away, 10, 100, or 1,000. Doesn't matter if it's 1 point, 1,000,000 points, anything that's ever generated will pay the original store was created in and pay everyone up in between, no matter how much time goes by, which is absolutely incredible, right? Same thing over here. It doesn't matter which side. It could be on Kate's side. So let's say Erica creates 300 BV. It goes all the way up to you and every single person in between, everyone gets paid on that volume. Right? And here's a crazy part too. Not only does volume go up 100% to infinity, but imagine someone who's been in the business longer than you, who already has a customer base, who already is generating sales, being able to take volume and place it at the very bottom of the organization to a person that they personally introduced. That's what's happening here. Your senior partner placed volume in David's banks. All that volume now pays every single person in between. So this 100% to infinity is the best part, in my opinion, about the business, because now it eliminates any sort of hierarchy, any sort of levels, anything like that. It doesn't matter. And you're always going to get the best mentorship because everyone's 100% financially vested into you, regardless of where they're located within the organization. Okay. And also retail profit. IBV works the exact same thing. So everyone keeps their own retail profit and all the volume always is going to flow up in credit 100% here. So in this example, you could see there was a customer order for 63 BV. Ashley's going to get that 63 BV. She puts $23 in her pocket, but it all goes up to everyone in between. And over here on Mike's side, 7 IBV. So whether it's BV, IBV, it doesn't matter. All the points, all the sales, anything ever generated in any store will always credit them and then all the way back up to every single person in between, creating a synergy and a teamwork among everybody. So the disclaimer here is I'm going to show you money. And, by showing you money, like I'm just going to tell you up front, like, to get to a point where you're making 6 figures or to get to a point where you're seriously financially independent, it's going to take work and it's not easy. Most people won't get there just because they're not willing to do the work, right? So I'm just going to be honest with you. But if you are willing to do the work, like, my example, you can absolutely do this. Right. So this is how it works, right? The commission. So the computers do a search every Friday to infinity and it says, all right, let's see how much volume was calculated within the organization, not just you, but every single person in between, right? Um, and what happens is it might find 30 here, 80 here, 90 here. And if it adds up to 1,200 on Mark's side and 1,200 on Kate's side, it's equal to 300 Australian dollars, right? And then it keeps doing a search to infinity. And if it finds 2,400 and 2,400, it's another 300, 3,600 and 3,600, 300. And the last threshold is 5,000, 5,000 for 1,500, right? Our goal is to help you in the next 2 to 3 years to get to a point where you're doing 5,000 and 5,000. So you're making an extra 1,500 but for a week. But forget 1,500 a week. What would an extra 1,500 a month in your pocket do? You know what? Forget that. For maybe 1,500 a quarter, an extra $300 a month in your pocket. Like that's what this business part-time can really do. And not only do you get paid on BV, but check this out, you also are going to get paid on IBV. So every single time the computer does a search to infinity, when it starts to calculate all the IBV from the different partner stores, when it hits 1,200, 1,200, it's 300, 24 and 24, 300, 36 and 36, 300, and the last threshold, 5,000, 5,000 for another 600, so totaling 1,500 from IBV as well. When you add these up, it's 3,000 for the week, right? So every single week, right, the commissions are always going to be calculated. And the best part about it is that it's accrual. It's 365 days. The volume stays there. So you don't have a quota that you have to meet every month and your volume goes to zero. So it allows the average person to be able to go on their time frame and still get paid. They don't have to be maniacs every single month. So 3,000 per BDC. So per business, 3,000. The crazy thing about this business and my favorite part about it is that we actually have a $600 leadership bonus here. So if you help other people succeed, naturally you're going to get a bonus. So this is how it works. So let's say you're at 5,000, 5,000, okay? And then you help Mark get to 5,000, 5,000. You help Ann and Ben get to 5,000, 5,000. Anyone on your left, anyone on your right, when you help them get to 5,000, 5,000, the nature of the beast, automatically that means that you hit 5,000, 5,000. So what happens is the company says, you're doing such a great job being a great leader, helping people make money. What we're going to do for you is send you a $600 leadership bonus, totaling that 3,600 a week. I mean, ask yourself, when you help someone at your job, okay? I'll put myself in a position when I help people, when I was at my job and my manager told me to do something for a coworker, I didn't get any extra credit. I might've got a pat on the back or like a high five and, good job. But a $600 bonus would definitely be a lot better, for helping people. That's for sure. How can you develop more income? You absolutely can. But first, let me tell you this. The reason you're probably wondering why 100% to infinity, how can that be sustainable? How can one store and one sale pay every store, one store, 10 stores, 100 stores the same? It's because what they did is they took every franchise and they capped it at 3,600 a week, right? You can't make more than that per franchise, but just like any other franchise, you can own multiple stores. So here you can see an example of a second store and a third store. They connected it to your first store. So why is this significant? It's because when you cap out your first store, all you have to do to double your income is do literally the same thing that you already know how to do on your first store. So for example, let's say you started with Mark and Kate. Actually, you start out with 3 stores, but now everything that Mark does is going to credit you twice. If you see that, it's going to credit on your left side of your second store and then your first store, and Kate's going to credit your third store and your first store, which is absolutely incredible because as you're building one store, you're building half of 2 other stores to give you the potential to double or triple your earnings, right? So when you're ready, now you could basically start with Kristen and now, build that second store, and now you just doubled your income. Like my mentor, he used to actually own a couple of Chinese buffet restaurants, and he got rid of them because he has 2 stores capped out where he'd make an extra $4 to $5 grand a week, and now he has a lot more time with his family and just loving the business. If you want to triple your income, go ahead. You can triple it. Here in this example, John is connected to your third store. Now you just tripled your income. You can open up 999 of these. So I would say let's first focus on that first store before we even start thinking of multiple stores. But just to give you guys an example, this is how it works, right? You got your first, second, and third. If you want, you could open up a fourth. You just put that 200 BV in there and it flows, and all these different stores are going to pay, the people in between. And it's also going to credit the stores that you already built. But like I said, I know this is getting to be a lot. Just the biggest thing is focus on that concept of the first store. All right. So you might be thinking, right, at this point, can this work for me? We're thinking, are you right for the business? My biggest suggestion, so I'll give you guys a quick story for me. So when I first took a look at this, my friend introduced me to this business at a Dunkin' Donuts at night. I said, okay, well, you're telling me this is real. I fell in love with residual income. I fell in love with 100% to infinity. He said, yeah, this is real. I said, you promise me this is actually real? This is this isn't a joke, right? He's like, no. I was like, okay. Next day, he took me to a presentation and I got started. He said it was $1,200. I got started. I picked products out of a catalog. I said, I'm going to use this stuff anyway or whatever, and let's see what happens. So for me, it was a decision of, listen, I know what I want. I don't want to be part of the 45-year plan. I want freedom in my life, and residual income is the only way I can do that. And the risk associated with $3,600 a week, if that's only $1,200, let's go. For you, I don't know, right? You might be thinking that's too high of a risk, or you might not know if this is right for you. What I've learned in the business over time, though, is not everyone's meant to be a business owner, right? A lot of people are meant to just be consumers. So if you want to be a consumer, by all means, definitely connect with the person who invited you on the call, be a customer. But if you're actually like thinking, if I can actually do this, is this real? Will I get help? Then connect with the person, book a follow-up time to go over a little bit more information, as well as, remember, we're invested 100% fully into you. So we want to make sure that you're a good fit for our time, you're a good fit for our business, because as you can see, we're heavily, heavily invested in your goals, and we're going to mentor you every step of the way. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining me on this call, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen and give it back to our